Hello, I'm Mike and this is Carol, the co-owner of the Micro Museum in Ramsgate.
Mike is the collector, and he will famously tell you that he used to go to car boot sales in the morning and then go on to work at the Museum of London and taking computers and things and all sorts of devices there to work on the back of a motorbike because we don't have a car.
And a lot of the computers that you see here today have been sneaked in by the back door, and Carol didn't even know that they were coming in through the door because she knew how much I was spending. I would have been kicked out years ago.
So it became like a rescue mission because a lot of these things were ending up in car boot sales or charity shops, which was the only place where we could afford them. And we rescued them in order to put together a collection before they were lost altogether. I always claim happened because of me, because he was bringing all the stuff in that you mentioned earlier. It was in the spare room, it was in the other bedroom, it was under the stairs, it was in the garage, it was in the shed. We moved house, we to a bigger house, and all that started filling up, and I said, we've got to do something with this, and so the idea came along that we should actually open a museum and share it with people.
We started off in about 1979, and we had our first exhibition in Barking Central Library in London, and then we moved to another location in the Museum of London, and we had a case in the Museum of London for about 6 months. After that we went to another site which is in the South Bank, and that was the Museum of Design, and we were there for about 8 months. Then we found in 2005 the building which is just down the road, and we opened up the museum, which was the Home Computer Museum. We opened this building up about 7 years ago, and so really that's the sort of start of the museum. You'll find that there's very important people, like there's Charles Babbage and there's Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace was the first programmer, incidentally. Carol will say a few things.
Ladies.
Carol will say a few things about Ada Lovelace.
Yeah. But it's quite a fascinating history, because I was the person who did most of the research to put the history boards together. And it's quite fascinating how it all developed right from the very beginning, because basically we say we go from digital, where you counted on your digits of your fingers, through the digital age.
With me, it was working for the Museum of London for 14 and a half years. I could see the interest that was happening. They did have a few computers which showed the history of London. And the school groups, when they used to come round, they weren't too interested in the history until they got right at the end, where they could sit down and play on the computers. And there was about 6 computers. And so I thought, well, it'd be a nice idea to set up a museum where they can play on these old original,
get hands-on.
Old original computer games. Quite funny, because even today one of our most popular machines that we've got here is the Pong game, and that's just a simple black and white.
A bigger building.
Oh yeah, we really do need a bigger building. It's all a bit of fun for everybody.